Every puppy explores the world with their teeth. A healthy dog mouths a tennis ball, figures out what it feels like, and eventually drops it. But some dogs skip the dropping part. They seek out and swallow items with zero nutritional value, like rocks, socks, or an entire leather glove. Veterinary medicine classifies this persistent, compulsive consumption of non-food items as an eating disorder called Pica. When ingestion is this frequent, it suggests the cause lies deep within the dog's physiology or psychology, meaning the solution won't be found in a training class, but through a clinical investigation. The immediate danger is mechanical. When indigestible objects enter the gastrointestinal tract, they become lodged, completely blocking the passage of food and waste. As the gut tries to push them through, the foreign bodies scrape and stretch the internal tissue. This can cause the tissue to die off entirely, or tear open, spilling intestinal contents into the abdomen and causing a life-threatening infection called peritonitis. This X-ray shows a severe case. You can clearly see solid, non-food objects trapped inside the digestive system. Removing this mass requires an intense surgery where veterinarians cut out the dead intestine sections and stitch the healthy ends back together. Avoiding the operating table requires moving beyond basic behavioral training. Instead, we must begin a formal, comprehensive medical investigation to uncover exactly why the dog is driven to swallow these dangerous objects. This diagram represents the diagnostic funnel. The widest layer at the top focuses on ruling out the most common physical culprits before assuming the problem is mental. If a dog has internal parasites like hookworms or suffers from iron deficiency anemia, their body physically craves missing minerals. That intense deficiency drives them to eat soil, rocks, or even metal. There are also conditions like exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, where the pancreas fails to produce digestive enzymes. The dog is effectively starving to death, no matter how much kibble they eat, forcing them to scavenge anything they can swallow. Endocrine diseases like diabetes or Cushing's can also severely dysregulate a dog's natural appetite and thirst, pushing them to consume inappropriate items just to feel full. These scenarios represent an intense biological survival mechanism, where misbehavior is actually a side effect of the dog's internal struggle for nutrient balance. As the medical tests come back clear, we move into the narrower section of the funnel, the behavioral and psychological roots. Intelligent or high-energy dogs suffering from severe boredom, chronic environmental stress, or separation anxiety often use repetitive chewing and swallowing as a self-soothing coping mechanism. In extreme cases, this behavior calcifies into canine compulsive disorder. Similar to OCD in humans, the animal's brain loops the urge to eat these items until they completely lose the ability to stop the cycle on their own. When the diagnostics point to the brain rather than the gut, it requires the expertise of a certified animal behaviorist or specialized veterinarian to map out a safe intervention. Treating psychological pica demands a total shift in strategy. Instead of focusing on the dog's stomach, the priority becomes managing their mental health. The path to recovery depends entirely on where you landed in the diagnostic funnel. If a medical condition is the trigger, you treat the disease. If the root is behavioral, you manage the environment. Environmental management means setting the dog up for success by removing their preferred non-food targets entirely. For chronic scavengers, training them to wear a comfortable basket muzzle outside ensures they can pant and drink, but can't ingest dangerous debris. Crucially, you must never punish a dog for pica. Punishment spikes the exact anxiety that drives the behavior, and often teaches the dog to swallow objects faster to hide them before you can intervene. Instead, owners use positive reinforcement training, drilling commands like drop it and leave it. By exchanging a rock for a high-value treat, the dog learns that walking away from the hazard is more rewarding than swallowing it. Mental enrichment is equally important. Dogs have a hardwired need to chew to regulate their nervous systems. Providing vet-approved, fully digestible, single-ingredient chews gives them a safe and calming outlet for that drive. A dog obsessively eating a rock or a sock is sounding an alarm. Once we understand if the problem is in the body or the brain, we can finally provide the help they are asking for.